So what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Scout Class Dirt Boss. And Dirt Boss is one of the weirdest Scout figures and or Transformer figures I think there has ever been. And the reason I say this is mainly because of his alt mode. If you cannot guess it, he's a forklift. He turns into a forklift. And that is the greatest thing ever, honestly. I don't know why I own Dirt Boss, but I bought him when I was a kid. No clue why. But man, is he great. He's just awesome, and I love him. So Dirt Boss here is just... He's a pretty decent little scout guy. You know, he does everything you want a scout to do. I mean, he doesn't have any accessories, although the arms and how they're sculpted, it's kind of made to look like the blades of the forklift are like kind of like underhanded sword weapons. I don't know the exact name of that type of weapon. I know it has a name, but I don't know the exact name of it. So the colors on this guy are primarily this lime yellowy green. It's a yellowy green color. It's more yellow than green. And also brown, and he also has some gold and some red. Not a ton of gold and red, but mostly just brown and this yellow. And the brown is used pretty well everywhere. It's up here on the shoulders, it's the head, the chest, the wheels, and also the blades. So they didn't use any gray, which I think they probably could have used gray. I think gray would have also worked quite well. I think gray might have actually been better, because then it just would have made it look a tiny bit better, but that's fine. And, I mean, a little bit of red there, I genuinely don't know. It's like, I'd like to think of maybe like a chest cannon of some kind, maybe. Maybe it's just like a little turbine type thing, who knows. It's a Bayverse design, you already know it's going to be a bit complicated looking. Looking at his face, if it'll focus on it. He does have red eyes, though you can't really see it because they're a bit shadowy. There you go, red eyes. He also has gold on the face. There's not a ton of gold on him. It's mostly on his shins, and then there's a bit on the chest as well. But it's kind of... it's there. I was going to say it's a bit obscured, but from me looking at it, it's a bit obscured. But on camera, it actually is showing up quite well, so... there's that. Backpack-wise, he does have a bit of a backpack. He does have a bit of a backpack. He has this bit here, and then he has these shoulder things, which are the, like, cage around the forklift. This guy has a pretty generic transformation, and this is probably going to be a really short review, but that is fine. That is 100% fine. I mean, as far as articulation goes, nothing in the head, no waist, forward and back at the arm, ball joint at the elbow, so he has a rotation and elbow joint. You can do that with the hands if you want. Forward and back at the legs, outward, ball joint at the knee, and you can get some forward and back motion at the foot. He's, you know, not super articulate. I kind of wish he had a, like, head rotation, but I guess for transformation they couldn't. I mean, speaking of the transformation, let's just get into it. The transformation of this guy is pretty simple. Come to the back and fold out his little backpack section there. So just fold it out like that. Once you do that, come to the arms and fold out the cage sections. Take his actual arms and you're going to fold them up like this. Just straight forward. No bend at the elbow like you're seeing there. Straight forward like that. Come to the blade, flip it up so it's facing forward. Take the feet and flip them back like so. And then take this section here and you're going to drop it, and that's going to get rid of the head. You can then take this section and then put it in the middle. You want it in the middle because it's the steering wheel section, so it has to be in the middle. It doesn't really peg in anywhere though, which is the kind of worst part about it. I don't know why it doesn't peg in, but it doesn't. You can peg the arms together. There's 2 different points, one at the bottom, one at the top. Make sure the arms are sitting correctly. And then come to the legs, and there is 2 little tabs. There's one there and one there, and then there's a slot on each leg. And you're going to want to try. This is usually the hardest part, is actually getting these tabs to actually go. I usually cannot get them to go, but I got them to go that time. I don't know why they're always so iffy, and the steering wheel will never sit flush. But here is his little forklift mode. Man, I love the little forklift. It's just such a weird Transformers alt mode, and that's why I love Revenge of the Fallen. I love it. They were just giving us figures of non-characters. They were just making movie toys to make movie toys, and that was the best part of it, was when they started just making random characters that didn't exist in the movie, and they just did this. I don't know why the camera's unfocusing. It did it again, didn't it? It focused, and then it didn't. There we go. As far as the forklift mode goes, not a ton of detail going on. The arm blades are pretty much now just the forklift bit, and you cannot lift them up, but you can tilt it. So if I wanted to take, like, little baby Prime again, that's like 2 reviews straight, he's made an appearance, he actually can barely lift him. He's tilting forward, trying to lift him, but he can do it. One little issue, steering wheel, like I said, it's kind of tilted forwards. There's a bit of a gap there, which is weird. He does have a bit of gold paint there and like a little bit of detailing. Decepticon logo there. There's not really a ton to talk about with this. It does roll nicely. So there's that, I guess. But other than that, this guy is just a pretty simple, basic little dude. And I mean, for the price point, I think he's like probably like $10, if that. Back in like 2009, 10. He's just worth it. He's a great toy. And if you ever find him, I would recommend him wholeheartedly. Let's get to the thoughts. I pretty much just gave them. My thoughts on this guy, he's not perfect. I'm not going to give him a 5 out of 5. I can't. I can't do that. He's just not perfect. He does have his issues. He has his proportional problems, but he's not the worst thing you will ever see in your life. He's not really, like, a to be taken seriously. He's more of a gag Transformer than anything. He turns into a forklift. He might be the genuine only Transformer to ever be a forklift toy. I don't know. I don't know if there's a single other forklift out there other than this guy. He might have gotten a repaint. I feel like there's an orange one. I don't know. There might be. But, I mean, as far as it goes, I'm going to give this guy a 3.5 out of 5. And the reason I'm going to give him that, he does lack in the articulation, which I don't want to take away from him because he's a small guy and his transformation doesn't really allow him to do it. He does have the giant shouldered things, but I think that's part of his charm. And the backpack, I mean, the backpack is a little egregious. His transformation doesn't really have any crazy steps. And the alt mode's great. The alt mode's amazing. The robot mode also looks great. But I don't want to give him any higher than a 3.5 because I feel like I'm like gonna hype this guy up as the best thing ever, but he's just a guy. He's a chillin' little dude. So that is it for me. This has been Eilt Elite signing out.